Hey YouTube, this is the part 2 of the series Thoughts on God. It's called God's Stepford Wives. Paul Washer has said that while churches pander to a bunch of carnal, wicked people, the 2% of God's flock, his sheep, are left to starve. In those churches, it seems like all that matters is the next big parade, the next biggest draw or attraction. People there seem polite. Everything is always robotically pleasant, but the pleasantries give me an unsettled feeling. They are like Stepford wives. I guess everyone's needs are being met, but still have this nagging, pressing feeling that something isn't right, that everything being done is some superficial home remedy of sorts, while the doctor's orders have been set quite apart, as if they might require too much expense, effort, or change in routine. Let's just stick to what we know best, and what we can do by ourselves is the unspoken motto, I sense, and it is extremely politically incorrect to suggest that anything is ever wrong with their habits. When I'm alone with God, sometimes I laugh with his joy. I cry at the injustice in the world. I feel his rage over hypocrisy, but am assured by his hope. So how is it that his presence doesn't evoke these different kinds of emotions in a church? How can he never have a hard word or break someone to tears? Hearing Paul Washer's thoughts on the many Six Flags over Jesus churches reassures me that I'm not imagining this. Sometimes attitudes I hear from the church mimic Pharisees. It was always their presumption that the lowly tax collectors, whores, and Samaritans were the ones headed to hell because they were not descendants of Abraham who kept the law of Moses. Today it is the running assumption in some churches that Hollywood, the gay community, and other cultures are ones headed to hell, but not us because we're saved. But for many, the presumption that they are saved is because they keep the practices of Christianity. We've agreed to some habits and foolishly assume we've been absolved by them. Pharisees had no concept as to why the laws of Moses were important to God. Like a teenager struggling with algebra, they learned what values to assign and what routines to perform, but they had no idea what purpose or desired effect those formulas are intended to achieve. In like manner, unsaved people in church today have some idea of what's expected of a Christian by society, and because those expectations are already convenient to their lifestyle, it's not such a struggle to plot points in the formula. Do this plus don't do that equals Christianity. But righteousness is something that they struggle in their own strength and understanding to achieve, a habit that often leaves them bitter, even jealous of non-believers who freely wallow in sin. Like when Paul Washer addressed that large youth group, they applauded at first because it was a relief to know they didn't have to be like Britney Spears, and it was a relief to know that because they spend a great deal of time trying to. Christ did not envy or try to emulate the power of Caiaphas or the immorality of Herod. He didn't want what they had. He wanted what his Father wanted. So many times in our prayers we say, God, if it's your will, we realize the need to acquiesce to God's plans like a teenager who concedes to go on a family outing but doesn't really want to be there. It's another thing to cherish time spent with our father and older brother, to be their flesh and blood, to want what they want. The true bride of Christ wants what her husband wants. Thank you.